Howdy y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Stephsgotit, and today I've got a little whipping chat. So, as I say always, to get the party started, if you have not gotten your work in progress out and ready to go, put me on pause and go run and set everything up and get ready and come back when you're ready. Yes, yes. Alright, I'm assuming now you're ready to rock and roll. You've got your diamond painting. You've got whatever drill tray container it is you're using. You've got your pens. You've got your wax. You've got yourself a nice drink. This is a slushy with real fruit, strawberry, and added flavors of peach and mango from Sonic. You know that's my favorite. It should last us the whole whipping chat. I've got my iPod to do a little timing. I had thought of a little background music, but that might be too loud, so we'll just let that go. Let's get our timer set up so that we are here for an hour. And alright, just wanted to make sure we were in focus. So we're started. We're off. Remember those same little pieces of candy that I talked about last week? Well, I still have my apple kiwi and my pineapple. There it is. What is this? My pineapple coconut left. So if I get a little smacky, you'll know what I'm smacking on, and I apologize for any unruly sounds, but a girl's got a snack, right? And our house right now is full of cakes and cookies and leftover cakes and cookies and pies and things, and the first week it got me. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It got me the first week. I had all my healthy stuff laid out. I had my happy planner laid out. I had my fitness happy planner all laid out. I was ready to rock and roll. And that went to HELL hockey sticks in a quick hurry because I lack self-discipline enough to not partake of all the yum-yums that were left over in our house that we couldn't give away or couldn't get rid of. And I hated the idea of throwing it away. But I'm telling you now, any more yum-yums come in this house like that from leftover events are going straight to the trash can. Well, I can't even say that really because my husband likes to munch on that stuff. He's like, no, I didn't sign up for that. You signed up for all that. So I'm going to use my metal tip to help straighten. I really like this plastic tip. Again, you've seen these pens 1,000 times. Just a reminder, they are from, it's cold in here, y'all. You usually hear the fan on. I have a little small fan that's clipped to the table, but not tonight. It's cold in here tonight. But these pens are from Jim's Handmade Pens. This one is Cool Mint, that glass marble look. It's really pretty. And this one is a custom that I had him do, and it is flamingos. And because I love flamingos, and it is actually part of my theme this year for my planner, which is flamingos and pineapples. And on every spread, every weekly spread, every monthly spread, in my happy planner, classic size planner, in my fitness planner, and in my scripture planner, and in my not on my gratitude log, because my gratitude log is really in with my fitness journal because I need to track that. But there's a hidden pineapple and a hidden flamingo in every spread that will make me happy. I love pineapples. I know I've said that 1,000 times. And I love the quote about a pineapple. Stand tall, always wear crown, and always be sweet on the inside. I love that. It resonates with me. So let's try our multi-placer. So I have on my old ratty sweater. As you can see, I have two. I have one in my sewing room. It's black and white. And I have this exact same old ratty tatty sweater at my desk, except it's rainbow colors. So if you see it popping in the screen, yes, it's old and ratty and tatty, but I don't care. I love them. They are super comfortable. They're heavy because I rarely put on a jacket in the house. I don't even wear a coat in the winter time. I have wraps that I wrap around me in, is this the right color? Yes, okay. I have wraps that I wrap around me when I go from my house to my car and from my car to inside whatever building I'm going in. And that's basically it. The only I have a jacket. I call it a coat because to me it's heavier than a jacket and it's waterproof and all that good stuff. That is from what is it, Carhartt, which is we bought when we were visiting our sister-in-law in Purdue. We went to Purdue to see our sister-in-law one year, and it was freezing. It was actually snowing. I mean snow. In Alabama it snows for 30 minutes and then it's gone in an hour, you know. But this was actual snow. And yeah, we weren't accustomed to that, so they had to take us to the store to get real coats. And even then I didn't get a coat. I got a jacket by Carhartt, which are really good quality winter or wear, not just winter. I think they had other stuff too. I got a pair of gloves, and my son got a sweater that was fur lined on the inside. Again, we're not really big coat people anyway, but we are Southerners. So when you put us up north somewhere where there's snow, you know, you got a problem. So, ooh. That's it. And if you saw me wearing it, you would think it was just a jacket. It's not even really thick either. So I don't really do coats. Like I said, I do my wraps so that my arms aren't exposed in the elements from the car to the door. But these sweaters are really nice. And I think because they're so old and ratty that they're just super comfortable. And I love them. So you'll see this one in the video as my arm comes in and out. And hopefully it doesn't look as ratty and tatty as it actually is. So I do have my handy dandy notes because you know this old mind will forget what it is I was thinking I wanted to say. So let me drop these down and let's hit our first topic. Here we go. Alright, so we'll just set that there and see if I can naturally say a few things before I result to the list. We talked about it being cold in here, so that's why you see me in a sweater. And I'm surprised it's cold in this house, actually, though. I'm usually, like I said, I usually have that fan on every time I come in here. And if you hear it, it's because it's blowing directly on me. I'm always hot. I have my own summer moments all the time. Um, mhm. Today was an interesting day because there was a new school added to my list today. And I was really kind of sad by something one of the boys said. They, I had 4 groups actually come through in 30-minute sessions as opposed to where I was told it was going to be, the boys were going to come through in groups of 2 groups for 1 hour. But instead, when I got there, the school had decided that they would do 4 groups of boys in 2 hours. So you can imagine having to go from thinking you're having a whole hour to get through what you want to do to now you have 30 minutes to get through it, and you have to repeat it 4 times back to back. So no problem. I mean, I'm a scout leader, I'm a Toastmaster, I adjust. And my personality is that of I adapt to the surroundings. So I probably could have made a good chameleon. I just adapt and do what I need to. Ooh, I didn't know you could get 4 on here. Okay. And so one of the groups that came through, they had library books. And so I was like, oh, you guys just came from the library. You know, what books did you get? And they each showed me their books. And one boy had several books. And I said, you're going to read that many books? And he said, yeah. I said, how long will it take you? And one of his friends said, oh, about a week probably. And he was like, no. Then he finally said, yeah, probably a week. And I said, do you like reading? He said, no. And I thought, well, why don't you like reading? And several of the boys said, and I quote, it's too hard. What? I mean, I'm sure the look on my face was like, what? What did you just say? And he said, I said, why would you say that? Or why are you saying that, rather? And he said, because, you know, some of the words are hard. If you don't know the words, then, and then the other kids say, yeah, that's why I like to listen to a book. And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't say to them because I definitely am not trying to embarrass them or make them feel bad or anything like that. But I'm thinking to myself, even if you listen to the book, if you don't know what the word is, you wouldn't recognize the word when you saw it somewhere else. What they got for Christmas. And one of the most popular answers seemed to be an iPhone, which is interesting because these aren't the richest areas that these schools are in. But a lot of them, pretty much most of them said iPhones and PlayStations sort of thing, and hoverboard, Bluetooth hoverboard. But this group, most of them said they didn't have phones. And I said, well, your mom has a phone. Just use your mom's phone and Google the word and hear the pronunciation of it if you know. And they're like, no, my mom would kill me if I touched her phone. I'm like, oh, well, oh, okay. And they proceeded to argue that cell phone, that reading a book, listening to a book was much better than reading a book. Now, mind you, on my way to Zumba convention, I listen to books all the time because that's a 9-hour drive I make by myself. And my husband and I, even on our very first, even on our honeymoon, we would stop and get audiobooks, rent audiobooks, and listen to books on the way to wherever we were going. At that time, it was Chattanooga, Tennessee. And So I'm a fan of audiobooks. Shelley listens to audiobooks all the time, so I'm a fan. And plus, my husband reads to me at night to help me sleep. At least he used to. I kind of backed off of it because he was keeping me awake. He makes it too exciting. He does the voices, and he remembers the voice that he gave a character from chapter 1. Even if the character is silent till chapter 9, he still remembers the voice, right, that he gave it. And he would read it with so much excitement. Like, he actually followed the punctuation. If it was supposed to be an exciting exclamation mark, then he read it that way. If it was a question, he read it that way. If it was a period, he read it that way. And he just made the book super exciting, with the voices and the action scenes. He would actually, flail and jump around. And so I had to just say, no, you can't read to me anymore. You keep me up more than my insomnia keeps me up. But we're slowly starting back to do that because we both enjoy the process. He enjoys reading it to me, and I enjoy listening to it. And it does help me fall asleep. If I don't have insomnia really bad. If I have it really bad, then it doesn't do anything. But anyway, so I'm a fan of audiobooks. I'm a lover of listening to a good book. But not because reading a book is hard. It's just I like to listen to books while I'm doing something else. And I thought, well, how are these boys ever going to learn how to be really good readers if they just want to listen to a book? They don't want to. And how they get that adventure and that imagination of creating something in their own mind based on what they read. It just kind of made me sad. Because, most kids enjoy reading and enjoy using their imagination to picture the story in their mind. So I was a little taken aback by that, and a little saddened at what their future might be if they don't enjoy reading because it's too hard. And I may just be making too much out of it, but I've learned that you really never make too much out of it when it comes to kids and their learning, because it could go south like quickly in a matter of moments. Remember the troubles my own daughter had in school, one of our daughters, and not finding out till years later because I was a young mom myself and I didn't know because my mom never helped me with schoolwork. I just did my schoolwork. And if I didn't do it, then I just didn't do it. But for the most part, I mean, even my grandmother, who was illiterate, they just made sure I did my schoolwork. And I didn't know anything about, asking for help or having someone help me because I always just did it. I did what I knew how to do, and what I didn't, I would cover in school the next day. So as a young mom, I kind of had that mindset that, oh, it's the school's job to teach my daughter how to read and write and all those things. And then I would just make sure she got the homework done when she got home. Of course, now I know better. It is a parent's responsibility to make sure that their kids know the things that they want them to know. You can't depend on somebody else to do that for you because it may not happen, or they may not be in a position to do it the way you want it done or to the level that you want it done. But, hindsight is 50-50, right? You live and learn. And I don't intend on having any more babies ever. So we're good with that. I mean, that was when my husband and I got married. That was one of my things is I'm done with kids. I'm a great aunt. I'm a great scout leader. I'm a great babysitter. I'm a great, whatever with kids. But I have no interest and no desire to raise any more children. So, oh, get out, get out. This just threw up on my, there you go. So I have no desire to, you know, I like to keep a kid for 2 hours and then send them home with their parents. That's about the extent. Every once in a while you can spend the night. Um, but I don't want to have any more kids. I don't want to have any. So I know that I did not want to have any more children, and my husband was not able to have any more children anyway. He saw that problem when his first wife had health issues, and it was advised that she not have any more children. So we were perfect for each other. Let's see. I think I moved the camera when I had to empty the battery. Let's see. All right. So, yeah. So I'm not interested in any more children. But I love kids. I'm great with kids. I'm great with babies. I'm great with toddlers. I'm great with small kids, bigger kids. I'm good with kids. I really am. Um, but that's because I know I can give them back to their mom in a couple of hours. uh, and that's because I had my kids all by myself for, oh, what seemed like forever. And my daughter went to live with her dad when she became a teenager, preteens, and I took my kids everywhere with me. I rarely ever had a babysitter. Wherever I went, that's where they went. And people would often go like, "Oh, where was your son or where was your daughter during the meeting?" I was like, "In the back or sitting right behind you." "Well, I didn't know. I didn't hear them." Exactly. You weren't supposed to. They know better. So I always had them with me, and occasionally my mom or my daughter's god, well, not godmom, but I guess great aunt or great cousin, I don't know how you describe it. Anyway, would keep her occasionally in the beginning when I first had her. And but my mom was very clear. This is your kid, not my kid. You had this baby, so this is your baby and this is your responsibility. And I'm glad she did that because it taught me to be responsible for my own children, and that I was a parent now. And even though I wasn't doing a lot anyway, I was just starting to go out and all that kind of stuff. But you taught me that, your kids come first. And there's just some things that as a mom, you don't have the freedom to do when you want to do it. You have to make arrangements for your kids. And that means you have to be on somebody else's time. And you have to respect other people's time. And things like that. So, it taught me a lot. And, but it was also a lot because when my mom was murdered, I was really on my own with my kids. I mean, I was on my own before. But my mom I only had my daughter when my mom was alive. And don't get me wrong, she loved that little girl and loved having her. But she would tell you quick, like if I wanted her to babysit so I could go out clubbing or something, she'd tell me quick if I had an attitude about it or something. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's your kid, not mine. I babysit when I want to babysit. And again, I had to come to terms with that. That she wasn't just sitting around waiting for me to say, hey, I need a babysitter so I can go out to the club or whatever. And I love to bar hop. I love to go out to the clubs because I love being around. At the time, it's not that I like being around people. as much as I like sitting in the background and watching people. You want to see somebody funny? Drunk people. Drunk people are the... Oh, am I out of frame? I'm sorry, guys. Drunk people are the funniest people in all creation. And I love to just sit and watch. I'm a people watcher. I'm one of those weirdos who I'm a people watcher. I always have been since I was a small child. Again, I'm a chameleon. I blend into the background, and while I'm blending, I'm watching. And I like to just get a drink. Well, back then when I was drinking, I don't drink anymore. But I would get a drink and I would get in a corner and I'd sit back and I'd just watch people. And I'd enjoy the loud music. I love, and to this day, I still love loud music. It might be one of the reasons why I became a Zumba instructor, I think. But I love loud music. So I'd get my little drink, go in a corner, cross my legs, and just sit back and watch people. It's also how I learned to pick up on a lot of nonverbal cues that people give, whether they're aware they're giving them or not. And that was just one of my favorite things to do. Anyway, I forgot where I was going with that, but you're used to that by now. There we go. Anyway, I was saddened by this young man's response, or this young boy's response, that he did not enjoy reading because sometimes the words are too hard and they don't know how to pronounce the words. Like there was no such thing as a dictionary or nowadays Google. So anyway, that was kind of sad. It also made me come home and pull out my planner and grab my planner stickers that had books on them to remind me to read a book, a paper copy of a book, or one of... So my plan is to read my church book, my church magazine rather, not my church book, our church magazine, because they have really good articles in there that are really helpful to what we're studying this year, and also to just good spiritual messages to help... Am I in frame? Yes. To help, lift you up and keep you on the right path and all that good stuff. And then the other one that I put a sticker in to read this week was my yoga journal. And because, again, there's some good stuff in there as well. And I haven't been reading them like I should be, especially since I'm paying for them. And I need to correct that. I need to always be, stay on top of learning what's new in the fields of fitness. And I have a yoga journal, and I also have an AFA, which is Aerobics and Fitness Association of America. I am a certified group fitness instructor, and so I do realize that I need to pay attention to, what current trends or things that are used in classes and things that can help people. And I have been a little lax on keeping up with that stuff. I mean, I keep up with my CEUs, don't get me wrong. I have to keep up with them because you get tests, you have to do it all over again if you don't. So I do trainings and things like that, but I don't read those magazines when they come all the time. And so I'm going to do that. And my favorite author is Mary Higgins Clark. I absolutely... Whoa. 1 second. That's a boatload of... I absolutely love... And this is not on my little sheets, guys. This is me just talking off the flip of my head from one subject to another. But my favorite author is Mary Higgins Clark. I love her. And if you don't know who she is, you can Google it, but I'll also tell you. She is a murder mystery author. And she is intense and awesome. You will not know who the culprit is. Let me move this over a little. How about that? Yeah, you will not know who the murderer is until the very end of the book, and that is why I love her. She keeps you guessing. Right when you think you know who it is, another person comes into play, and you're like, oh, wait, is it that person? This lady is awesome. I absolutely love her. And I I don't know if it's because of the murder of my mom but there's no mystery in that. I know who did that. But I don't know if that has led me to love murder mystery novels, or if I was just destined to always love those types of books. But I do. And I have stacks of them. A lot of them I haven't read yet because after a while I just kind of checked out of reading books like that. Books, period. Um, Along in the age of Netflix and Hulu and um, Amazon Prime TV and all that stuff. Even though we don't have TV, we do have internet, and so we do have access to those types of things. And when I took up sewing and scrapbooking and all that stuff, I kind of just started listening to things in the background as opposed to actually picking up a book and reading it. So that was a reminder to me that, hey, there's so much joy in reading a good book. You know, I love myself a good TV show. I love myself a good movie. I'm an avid moviegoer. But there's nothing like a good book and turning the page to find out the next, part of what's going on. All right. I'm not really liking this glue, this wax that was in those little kits at Joann's from, who is this, Diamond Dots. I don't know. I'm not really liking this glue. I have to refill it like constantly. And then the drills don't want to pick up. And it's really annoying. I don't know that, and maybe it's just those little kits that they were selling for, I think they were like $3.99. Maybe those kits were old or something, or maybe just not part of their good stock or something. But it has been aggravating. And I specifically went to Joann's to get those little kits because I thought they were so cute, and I wanted this little tin, because those tall ones that you get from Walmart that you just screw a bunch of them together, I had my wax in those and it seemed to be drying out. So I thought, oh, well, if Diamond Dots has a container for them, then maybe theirs won't dry out. Okay, all I know is I turned around and the stupid screen said the video has stopped recording. I know y'all are so tired of hearing me complain about this camera and about these pauses in conversation. And I'm sorry to keep doing it, y'all, but there's nothing I can do about it at the moment. Maybe my husband's right. Maybe I just need to suck it up and buy another camera and put this one in the closet somewhere. But I don't want to buy a new camera. I want to buy a new laptop. Actually, I don't want to buy either one right now. We need to be preparing for our contract, if our contract ends this year. So I'm not planning to make any big purchases like that of either. Of course, I can get a $200 laptop from Walmart and be okay, because all I needed to do is make stickers for my planner, watch YouTube, and help me edit my videos. And I'm good. I don't need the latest model, top model of this or that. Although something that can handle editing my YouTube videos would be great. I do need a little bit of power for that. But, don't need like $1,000 computer. I don't really need it. the one I have cost way more than I wanted to spend, and it has been no better than my son's $200 Walmart computer. So, but hopefully this doesn't stop recording. I'll try to remember to keep looking back at it. And the funny thing is it didn't make the clicking sound. It didn't cut off. It actually had something on the screen. But of course, as soon as I turn around and notice it and start trying to read the screen, it blanks off. Because of my half-blind self, I can't see with my glasses or without them in the mirror that's behind the camera. So, I'm sorry y'all have to keep complaining about that. It's not what you're watching the whipping chat for. But hey, it's life. What can I tell you? I can only tell you about life and be transparent about it. And this is probably about as transparent as you want me to be. Or you may get way TMI. Oh, let's see. Let's go to the notes, because before I was just rambling on from topic to topic. Well, it was hard going back to work these past 2 weeks. Back to teaching. The going back to the scout classes was fine, but going back to teaching the fitness classes, woo! Because I did absolutely nothing. I was a lazy bum for 2 weeks. So, yeah, it was hard. But it was good. I had to actually teach a class tonight, and it wasn't Zumba. It was, we call it a track class. But what it is the church has an indoor track upstairs. And we go up there and we do things on the track. Let me move my cup over. As well as I throw in, like tonight, we did weights. We worked on triceps, biceps, and so I guess it was an arm day, huh? We did that, and we did some stuff around the track with the weights. And I had intended to do some squats and lunges with the bands on the legs, but we got started a little later, and I readjusted the plan a bit. And so we did some yoga at the end and some deep breathing. It was good. I enjoyed it, even though I didn't get to participate as wholeheartedly. You know, that's the wrong choice of words. As a fitness instructor, you are there, and I think I've said this before, so you probably heard me say this, but as a fitness instructor, you're there to teach your students and to make sure that they have a great workout. You're not there to get your own workout. So that's what I mean when I say I can't participate wholeheartedly in the workout, because I'm not there for my own personal workout. I'm there for their workout. So I got to show them the moves, and then especially when you're talking about weights and strength and all that kind of stuff, you want to make sure people are in the proper posture, that they're doing it correctly, that they're not going to injure themselves and things like that. So that's what I mean. Not that I'm not giving it my all. I'm giving it my all as an instructor, not as an actual class participant, because I'm not the participant. I'm the instructor. So I liked the class and wish I could have been taking the class as well. But it's up to me to get my own personal workout, and I've been terrible about that. I'm going to be very transparent about that. I've been terrible about that. And I have the opportunity to go to boot camp classes. I told you guys about that last week. And I actually taught a class at her place. I taught some Zumba toning and a little bit of belly dance, or very little, like one song of belly dance at her facility, new facility that she's using, new venue that she's using, Monday night. So that was pretty cool. I had to go a little harder because I know she wanted them to get cardio. And sip. Not that my toning class doesn't have cardio, but she had done some stuff. And so what they really needed more was cardio. And a lot of toning stuff, because you're using the weights, isn't all about super fast and cardio. It's about toning your muscles. So I'm excited to do another Fabulous and Fit Friday. The one that I posted last time was a Zumba routine, was a Christmas song. And I really posted that so I will remember that choreography next year. I don't see how people teach a class and then turn around and shoot the videos to put up on YouTube. I'm like exhausted after class. I mean, mentally and emotionally, I'm just drained. I've given them, now I have taught classes, like taught one class at 1 o'clock and then turned around and taught another class at 3 o'clock. But that's because I go in mentally prepared to do that. And because I have the students there with me, and I know I have to give them all of my energy. But I'm not as inclined to give all that kind of energy to a movie camera. So it was tough because I was tired. We had had so much fun that night, and we had done some new stuff. And when I do new stuff, I'm always like breathing, like my heart rate increases, not because it's new, but my nerves kick in. Like, are they gonna like this choreography? Are they gonna like this song? Looking at their faces, like, oh, are they liking? Oh, they don't like that step, or they don't this, or they do that, and they love this, they love that. So I'm always really super hyped, and when I get super hyped, I breathe harder. I, like a dog almost. I almost pant. It's because my energy and my anxieties are like so high that I have to keep telling myself, calm down, calm down. Whether they like it or not, it is what it is. Calm down, calm down. But my stage fright is a lot better than it used to be. Oh, I used to be so scared and nervous at every class, on every song, on every new class, new song, new whatever. And don't get me wrong, I still am a little nervous, and I don't ever want to be to the point where I'm not nervous, because then that means I don't care. I think that means I don't care. I won't care about it as much. So I want to be a little nervous. I want to have a few butterflies, but I don't want the stage fright that I've had like almost all my life. And I'm glad that that's getting a little better too, with more experience, and the more venues that I teach at, the more experience I get in front of new, different people. Really helps a lot. Which helps you understand why you need to put your kids in sports and things like that, because they need those. So your kids need those opportunities to be a part of something that helps them build their self-confidence and to know what they're capable of doing, have an understanding that, if they do A, B, and C, they can do, everything else. That they have talents and skills, and if they practice those things, then they will be able to do marvelous things, and that will help increase their confidence in themselves and their skills and their ability to adapt when needed. So And I didn't have any of those things growing up. I was never in. I did try out for volleyball, but the day of the tryouts, I had cramps and couldn't complete the tryouts. I The new school that I moved to in Tuskegee didn't have band, so I didn't get to try out for band. And then later in high school, when we got to high school, junior high, it was no point at that time. Um, and was like never in any organization or group or anything, and never really did or had any type of program that allowed me the opportunity to get used to like displaying my talents in front of people or that type of thing. So I'm always a nervous Nancy when I am in front of people. Again, it's much better now after Toastmasters, and I think uh, when I'm balanced, when everything is balanced, I'm like on my game, and I'm super comfortable, and I'm into it, and all that good stuff. And then when I'm not emotionally balanced, or uh, everything's working the way it should be, then those butterflies and nervousness that are useful become unuseful because they become way stronger, and it's a bigger battle for me. Um, Even making these videos sometimes is a battle for me, which is why I always have that little piece of paper with things to say on it, because I know when I go unscripted, not that the stuff is scripted, but at least the cards, the notes give me something to talk about. Whereas if I just ramble on from conversation to conversation, I am liable to say some things I probably shouldn't say, like TMI or unfiltered. I don't really like being unfiltered, because unfiltered I tend to say and just give it to you the way it is, and I like to be a little more clear about what I say. I used to have these row of ladies at church that kind of sat in the back to the left hand corner. And at my church, we don't have a paid minister or pastor. When there are talks in our sacrament meeting, they are asked by the bishopric. Various people, different people are asked. Generally, everybody in the church gets an opportunity to speak. Sometimes, depending on how large your church is, that opportunity may be farther apart than some. Um, but they used to say, "We love when you get up and give a talk, because we never know what you're gonna say, and it's always interesting. It's always fun." But it's nerve-wracking for me to not know what I'm going to say. Even if I don't know word for word, I like to have an idea of what I'm going to say. But I also, well, for church, I try to let the Spirit lead me into what I need to say that's going to be helpful to myself or to someone in the congregation. So, but for this, um, yeah, I don't like to. I, I often stress about what will come out of my mouth if I don't have notes. And like I was today. And I'll be honest with you. I'm all about being transparent here and honest. There was a conversation that came up, and I was glad that the camera shut off, because it gave me the opportunity and the space to say, you know what, that probably isn't a conversation that they want to hear about. So I'm going to edit that out. And I know I said I wouldn't edit a whipping chat, and I have not, and I will not again. But I said something I probably should not have said. And it may sound worse than I meant for it to sound. So, in all honesty, I have to tell you, I am going to edit that portion out. And I don't even know why I'm even telling you, because you would never know whether I edited it out or not until I told you just then. Again, you know, when you practice being honest with the people, you're just always so flipping honest, and so just shut up. Don't say anything. They'll never know. But I'd rather do that than be in the habit of lying to people. That I don't want to do, because I don't like being lied to. So I definitely don't want to lie to people, and I certainly don't want to be dishonest and all that good stuff with people. So, you know, it's a love-hate relationship with being transparent. But oh well. I think we are close to time. I had to get up several times, so I had to. The timer has gone off because I left it running while I was in the kitchen trying to download the last take so that I could record the next part. But I'm going to go ahead and finish these little pound signs here, 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 and right here. And then we're going to call it a night. So give me about, 15 more minutes. As soon as I find them. Let's see. It's a pound sign. A blue pound sign. There it is. Let's double check over here. A blue pound sign is 19838. 19838. Here we go. Oh, look, another brown. And we got a little Han Solo trying to have a little party over there on the side. A red one too, or pink. Yeah, I think that's red. Alright, let's look at the notes. Oh, I tell you something interesting. Well, it was interesting to me. I hope you find it as interesting as well. If you have an Instant Pot, you probably will. So I've been trying to use my Instant Pot more. Let's pull this over here some. Yeah. Use my Instant Pot more. And the other night I had planned to have T-bone steaks, because I'm sure I've told you we bought half a cow about a year or so ago, and we buy half a cow every year. That pretty much takes care of our beef for the year. And it's fresh. Oh my gosh, you have not had ground beef until you've had fresh ground beef. Oh. Anyway, so I decided that we wanted to have steaks, but I forgot to take them out before I left. So we came home and I still decided I wanted T-bone steak. So I pulled out the old Instant Pot and I put those frozen T-bone steaks in the Instant Pot with some seasoning and of course broth. Everything has to have some broth on it in the chicken, in the Instant Pot. And I gave them, how long was it? Was it 8 minutes, I think? I didn't use the meat button. I just did pressure cook for 8 minutes. Frozen T-bone steaks. And I mean huge steaks too. And y'all, they were pretty tasty. If I did it again, I would give it less time. But because they were frozen, I wasn't really sure. I just knew I wasn't going to put them. See, I have to put more in here again. This is my third time in this hour we've been recording. The other time was off the camera. But This is aggravating. So, yeah, the steaks were frozen. So, I didn't want to put them in the meat, using the meat stew button, because it was going to cook for 35 minutes. And I'm like, oh no, it's a T-bone steak. It can't cook that long. It'll be a horse pucky, as my husband would say. And so I figured, okay, they're frozen, so I'll give them 8 minutes. Usually, if I had thawed them out, I would put them on the George Foreman grill for 3 to 4 minutes to try to get a nice medium rare. Sometimes, I mean, but you have to be exact. Uh, if you're over just a tad bit, then you get more medium to done-ish category. But as long as it's not well done, we can survive. I Now, although I am a carnivore, I did not like my meat to have any pink in it. That, to me, that was just gross. I have offended chefs. Don't care. It's my food. It's my money. I'm paying for it. I want it well done. Not a hint of pink or redness in the meat. Well, after a couple of, I don't know, months, years, I think it was more like years, my husband finally convinced me to try one of his medium rare steaks. And mind you, my husband is not a carnivore. He is a pasta person. He eats meat. When we got married, he didn't even have meat in the freezer. He loves pasta. When he plans a meal, when he's putting together a meal, rather, he always plans the pasta first and then everything else. As to where when I plan a meal, I pick the meat and then everything else to go with the meat. So let me know, when you plan a meal, do you choose a pasta or a starch first and then plan everything around that? Or do you pick your meat first and plan everything around that? Or do you pick your vegetable first and plan everything around that? I would be curious to know, because I just thought everybody picked their meat first and then decided what they were going to have with their meat, with their meats. So I would be interested to know the answer to that question. Anyway, so we were at, I don't know where we were at, whatever restaurant it was at. And I tasted his steak. And the way it just melted in my mouth, y'all, I was sold. I haven't eaten a well done steak since then. I like it with pink in the center, preferably. Medium rare. But I've also learned that each restaurant has a different definition of what medium rare is. I've had some places bring it out to me and I could swear I heard it moo at me when I touched it. I've had a place bring it out to me where blood was still running out of it. I politely send it back. I'm going to need y'all to cook that a little longer. I don't want it to moo at me. I just want it to be hot and pink in the center. You know, I want it to roll. I don't want it to roll when the knife goes through. I just want it to cut through like butter, you know. So the T-bones came out okay. They were edible, but they were approaching unedible, horse pucky phase. So anyway, I tried that. And then last night, actually it was Sunday night, I decided to do sirloin. But I fell asleep at the kitchen table while I was working on my planner stickers, making stickers. And then I had a migraine, and then I had to stay with my head down at the table because I had a migraine. And then I didn't get to cook. Monday, I had my regular school plus the 4 classes at the new school. Stopped by the scout office for meeting. finally came home and had a 30-minute nap and had to get up to go teach a class, fitness class, Zumba class. And so I was beat when I got back home. And my husband was like, let's just do whatever. And you could do the sirloin tomorrow. And so that's what I did to Monday, I mean. No, I got my days wrong. I'm sorry, y'all. Sunday, I got the migraine. So Monday, when I came home from that class, which was last night was Monday, I put the sirloin, I had already taken it out Sunday and put it in the refrigerator, so it was already thawed out. When I got home last night, Monday night, I cut all the little, it had a little extra fat on it. I cut that off and seasoned it really good and put it in the pot. Poured the beef broth in there. Put a little more seasoning because I forgot that the broth tends to wipe all the seasoning off the meat. And put it on pressure cook again. Again, I did not do the meat button. I did pressure cooker. And then what did I put in there? That was it. That was all. And I think I gave it 8 minutes because that's what we did with the T-bones. I now know that if I did it again with it thawed out, I would give it 5 minutes, maybe 6. But it came out good. It was edible. It wasn't approaching horse pucky phase, but it was a little more done than we would have liked. But it was edible. It was we ate it with some broccoli and sour cream, and then I didn't eat the whole thing. I'm trying to cut back on meat, which is hard for a carnivore, but because I love meats. But I didn't eat as much as I normally would have eaten of a steak. And plus, I'm really a T-bone kind of fan. But, so we ate it, put the rest in the refrigerator, and I said, well, tomorrow I'll make a salad, and we'll have a steak salad. And so when I got home from class today, I taught my track class today, which we did the track and weights and yoga. And so when I got home, I immediately started making that salad, those salads rather. I made them in our individual plates so I wouldn't have a bunch of leftover, and topped it with that steak. I sliced it up in thin slices and put it on top of the salad. It was so freaking good. He had put it in a little plastic, like cheapo plate that we got. We use those little 88-cent, 50-cent plates, be like for everyday use just around the house. And we have our good plates for when we have guests over or we have a special dinner or something. And so my husband put the meat in there and put some press and seal on top of it and put it in the refrigerator. And so, ooh, that's not the right color. What is that doing in there? And so, I'm going to stop saying and so. But we put it in there, and I just grabbed that plate and put that plate in the microwave for, I think it was a minute. And then I came back later and pushed 30 seconds. And that was perfect. It was juicy. It was tender. It cut like butter. It was chewable. And that salad was so doggone yummy. So now I have learned I can cook my steaks in the Instant Pot. I just won't give them but about 5 minutes. I think 5 minutes will probably be plenty enough. Alright. So if you have an Instant Pot, let me know what recipes you've been trying out, or what your favorite recipe is with your Instant Pot. I'm always looking for new things to try mine with because And I have a recipe book my friend Shelley gave me for Christmas one year, and she also made me a book because she has one also. And I'm trying that too. All the stuff that's in that book, in those books, I'm trying that as well. But I also just want to know some quick and easy stuff that I can just throw in there without much thought and preparation, and get the meal started and over in under 30 minutes so that we can eat. Because we often have late dinners. It's just the nature of our life. And when we had to do it, we don't have to do it as much now. Um, but it's just kind of a habit. Maybe we'll work on that for this year. My enunciation is just sloppy lazy tonight. Uh, Maybe because I'm tired. Do you? Does your? Uh, and my head's kind of hurting looking up and down at this painting. I don't know why. Maybe I need to drink some juice or something. I know that's not juice, but that's what's in here. Probably because I need to get some rest. I still am somewhat in where did that go? Insomnia phase. I'm not going to sleep. I might be in the bed, but I'm not going to sleep as quickly or as early as I would like to. I've never gone to sleep quickly. So maybe my body's just like, hey, we're tired now. We want to go to sleep now. Which would be cool because I'm off of all of my jobs tomorrow, which I'm trying to keep that day open. But the scout office, I think. Okay, so I was just working and apparently not recording. Anyway, so you see I've got my guy here done. I have got to figure out a name for him or her. And I've got all the black and brown over here done. And I wanted to do this, but I'm aggravated and tired, so I'm going to go to bed. I came all over to here to finish all of those pound signs. And I'm also going to put my wax paper squares on because this is driving me crazy and can't put my hand down. It's driving me crazy. So anyway, this is where we are for tonight. And I think the computer, yep, okay. Well, there you go. You can see it with the light. And so we're going to call that finished for tonight. I want to thank you for joining me tonight for this little whip and chat session. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your night or your day whenever you're watching this. And if you found this content to be worth your time to sit there and watch it, by all means, please give it a thumbs up. And if you found that it wasn't worth your time to sit there and watch it, you are always free to give it a thumbs down. You do you, boo, right? And this, I don't think I mentioned it, but of course you read it in the credits, in the opening title, that this is Sea Buddies by Diamond Art Club. It's a collaboration that Shelley, Patterson, and I are working on. Oh my gosh, I have got to get my wax strips down. If you haven't seen the whole painting, it's the little mermaids. Oh, over here. There we go. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm going to wish you a good week. And I hope to see you back here again next Sunday afternoon for another edition of this Whip and Chat on Seabreeze. If you would like to, hit that subscribe button below. I would appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to say, remember, if you are having a good day, help someone else have a good day. It's the small and simple things in life that make it so much better and blesses so many people's lives. Love and Shimmies. Oh, you can't see my bracelet. Ah. I gotta have that perfect closing. There it is. Love and Shimmies.